Aloha! Welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam Session. Tom Gaddis here. I am feeling lucky today. Even wore my lucky hat. Got my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the call as well. Excited to have all of you here. I see people are starting to... What the heck is that?
It's a letter opener.
Oh, nice. You pull it out of the stone?
Yeah.
Does it go in the stone?
You have been selected. You've been chosen.
I thought you were a new Highlander. There can be only one. Nice. Well, welcome. Excited to have you guys here. We have a great live show lined up for you today. We're going to do some shout outs. We've got some awesome ones coming up for you there. We're going to have I think we have a member of the week. Let me double check. Yes, we have a member of the week. And we're going to take your questions. We're going to talk a little bit about the training we did on... What is today? Today is Friday, right? So we did that training on
Tuesday
Wednesday?
or Wednesday?
Was it Wednesday? Yeah, we had a special training with Jason Bell. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We've got a replay going for that right now. If you missed it, we'll drop a link so you can go check that out. And other than that, we're just going to have an all-around good time here on a Friday. The weather is gorgeous here in Vegas, so feeling pretty good. So let's cue up the intro, and we'll see you back here in just a momento.
It's now time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, they've finally returned. From the sun-soaked Sin City and the sandy shores of Maui, Hawaii, now back for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam Session. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Oh, yeah, that crowd is fired up. Nice. All right, there we go. We'll tone that down a little. Welcome, everybody. Excited to have you here. Let me turn on the comments and see who is in the house. We got Michael Marquez, David. Hey, David, what's up? Half of Delicious Marketing in the house. Patty Rutowski here. Jack Thomas, I see. Sammy, welcome. Frank the Tank.
Frankie.
Dorn
is angry. He put an angry emoji on this stream again. We need to, could you guys do us a favor and give us some other likes, some other engagement on the stream just so we can push Dorn's angry face down on that?
I don't know why he does that.
just his mood level of the day, you know? He's mood always angry.
Day, right? I see Todd. Welcome, Enrique. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Excited to have you here. So, Nick, what's been going on in the agency this week?
Man, so many things. We're working to potentially hire again, you know, expand the team. More project management work is needed, you know, with the growth of everything that we've been doing. In order to sustain the quality and the retention, we're going to need more project management. So it's interesting though, you know, like right when you think you can breathe, right when you think the air is going to be good and crisp, you have to go back down. Go back down and start, you know, getting back to work again. It really is pretty interesting though, because we talk about this a lot. You can go from, you know, 0 to 6 figures and set up your business to generate $100,000 to $200,000 pretty passively with a relatively small team. 2 to 3 key people and a couple of contractors. You can be pushing $200K per year, easy. As soon as you climb over that, you're going to have to make the decision to start hiring and training and scaling a little more. But, you know, I don't know, 1 to 200K a year, that's a pretty good number. That's a pretty healthy lifestyle. That's a good solid income for a relatively hands-off business, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of that comes back to just, you know, how big do you want to take things and where do you want to go and all that stuff, right? Like, it's easy to get caught up in the grow without taking a minute to be like, wait, is this really ultimately what I want to do, because I know like my views and desires on that change over time, because when you're first starting and you're just trying to get your business going, maybe you're trying to leave your corporate job, or you don't want to go back to a corporate job like me, right? Like you're like, I just want to get as big as possible, and I want to, and you have this kind of skewed view of how everything is. Like I remember, I've said this a lot. I mean, I remember telling Miranda, like, if we could just make $10,000 a month, we'd never need anything again, right? And the reality is, if we just made $10,000 a month right now, I'd feel like we were in the poorhouse, right? Like I'd be like, what? This is crazy. So it's your life changes. Things happen in your world that you don't expect. You have to adjust. Then you're like, oh, well, I want to grow this more. Then too, like you get comfortable with a certain level of income, right? Like, cause you're doing well, and you think, oh, well, there's never going to be a bump in the road. Right. And then you hit a bump in the road, and it's like you're going backwards, and then you got to figure out how to go forwards. And, all of that stuff happens to everyone in business, and as we've talked about on the past few weeks in the live shows, life happens, stuff comes up, just all, your goals of what you want to do change, like once you figure out like, oh, this is possible, I can actually do this, then, sometimes you want to grow it even bigger. Sometimes you decide like, oh, this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. Maybe I want to do something different or move it in a different direction or things like that. And all of that takes, careful thought and planning and readjustment and just kind of figuring out what you want to do and where you want to go.
Yeah. And I think the key thing is to really remind yourself that everything is just a process and not get overwhelmed. It's easy to get caught up in looking at the big picture. I have all these things that I need to do. I have these 3 pillars of a remote marketing business, all of these things, right? Client getting, fulfillment, systems, and operations. And in order to get all those pillars operating at prime time operations, you can get bogged down by just thinking about how much stuff there is to do. And really, it's just a matter of doing one thing at a time, one step at a time. So if you are feeling that way, you're feeling overwhelmed, what can you do today to make some progress, and just tackle that? And once you get past that, tackle the next thing.
I don't think we talk enough about keeping your emotional state calm when everything's going crazy around you. Like that's a skill that has to be developed, and you have to actively focus to do that. Because like stuff is going to happen, right? And I know our internal joke used to always be, because people would always, you talk about the 3 pillars: client getting, fulfillment, systems, and procedures. And people always ask us, well, what's the most important? And it's like, well, they're all important, right? Like retention, all of it is important. There's no, and I get why people ask that question, right? They ask that question because they want to know, well, what should I focus on right now? Like, what's the thing I need to do first? And the reality is, a lot of times you have to be doing a lot of things all at the same time, because they're all important and they all tie into what you're doing.
Yeah. And it's important to know. I mean, it is important to know and be able to try to figure out what is the most important next thing. And even for us, I feel like right now in the last week or 2 weeks, I have been really leaning on support to help identify what those things are. Because, and tell me if some of you can relate to this, because I know what happens to me a lot. I've been going through it. Sometimes I think there's issues. Sometimes I think my ads aren't working. Sometimes I think my salesperson isn't doing well. Sometimes I think the way that we're building this website is not the right way. But usually when I think that, it's because I don't really have experience at this level. I don't really know if it's actually an issue or if it's just what to expect in growing. And sometimes I feel like, or oftentimes, we try to tackle this new situation or this new area of growth, and because we're not familiar with it, we think we have an issue, and we try to fix something that isn't even broken. It's just you're on the normal trajectory, and it's just something new. It's not quite broken yet. And so it's important to know when something is broken and you need to change and make changes and make fixes, or if you're just dealing with something that's new and you need to continue to work it a little bit to get to where you're wanting to go. You don't want to deviate too quickly, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a really great point, because I know sometimes when you're doing the same things, like you can start to think like, oh, we need to be doing something new. We need to be doing something different, right? And the reality is a lot of times you don't. You need to be refining what you're currently doing and going more heavily into that and moving forward, right? We see that a lot with people with services, right? People always are looking for a new service, a new thing to do, a new here and there. And it's like, well, like our experience has been to start with one service, get that dialed in, and then add on another, and then get that dialed in, and then add on another, like one little step at a time, right? Not just waking up one morning and being like, wow, I'm going to offer 15 services or 5, we do 5 in the agency. So I'm going to offer 5 services and go right out of the gate. Like, that's just too much. Like, you got to start, you just have to start somewhere. And a lot of times, where you start really isn't as important as just starting and getting going, because there is a difference, right? Like, there's a very big difference between taking something that's not moving and has no traction and getting it going, and then sustaining something that has traction and is growing, right? They require different skill sets. And so and by the way, don't feel bad if you struggle with something like this, because a lot of entrepreneurs struggle like this. In fact, usually what makes a great entrepreneur is their ability to start something and get traction with it. And they're most of the times really crappy with maintaining it and running it. And a lot of times, once they build something up and it has traction, they get bored with it, because they like the excitement of the growing and the figuring it out and the aggressiveness of all of that, right? And when you have an organization that starts to get to a certain level, that aggressiveness and all that stuff has to be replaced with systemization and procedures, and it takes longer to, I know you and I deal with this, right? Remember the days when like we wanted to do something and we just do it? It's like that doesn't really happen anymore today, because now there's multiple departments involved, there's other people involved. Like it's not easy to just turn what we have going, all of a sudden. Like, you have to put thought into it, because you don't want to break what's already there or what's already working, or, what's that thing? Cut your nose off to spite your face. Like, well, we don't want to give up, this one thing just because we think this other thing is going to be better, So it does require some careful consideration and thought about that stuff.
Well, optimization too,
Yeah.
I mean, like, for example, if anything, you said, learn one service, then learn another, then learn another. Like, now after having gone through that, I'm like, man, maybe we should just make this one service, like,
or
we
focus on one niche,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Let's, instead of offering, Google Ads, SEO, reputation, social media, why don't we just make it a package? Like, that's what it is. That's what we're selling. It's all inclusive. We're going to do, we're going to do lead gen. We're going to do ranking, but it's all part of it. That's an example of like, going through, getting to the other side, looking back and figuring out how you can optimize. And to my comment earlier about not knowing if you're faced with a problem or just the usual growing pains, that's where, because I know people are experiencing that, because you experience that at every level of growth. And if you're not experiencing that now, then that just means you're at a place in your business where you have optimized and maybe removed a recent bottleneck, and now you're growing again. But eventually you will hit a new constraint if you continue to grow. And so the way that you can get around feeling that way is by working with somebody that has experienced those problems and those issues that you're facing in front of you right now, so that they can tell you, oh yeah, this is just a growing pain. Like, here's what you can do next. Don't go learn a new service. You're on the right track. Like, that is a super valuable thing, right? Because the time you would waste chasing your tail, chasing an issue that's probably not an issue, could be, a pretty big problem. Could be a waste of money, could be a waste of time, could be a waste of resources. And who knows where you'll end up. You can go far down a rabbit hole, and, who knows where you could end up.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I liked about the training that we did on Wednesday with Jason Bell, was because Jason has really taken the idea of like, let's focus on one thing in one area to one specific type of client.
Yeah.
And let's build all of that out so that we can easily implement it and and he's basically figured out how to automate almost all of that process, from the client getting to the fulfillment to all of that stuff, right? And I think that's what was so powerful kind of about the training that he did and what he talked about on there. He calls it the silo, which I think is a great name for it. But that idea of like, okay, well, let's just focus on this one area, this one thing. We know we have everything here. We know we have a service that's in demand. We know we like, and this is how we build that. And oh, by the way, here's everything to do it for you. And here's how it's all automated, and we've already got it all set up, and you just plug and play and hit the road.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely is easier to go after one industry, one thing with different types of prospecting, because your messaging can be the same across the board for everybody. Whereas like our agency right now, we're kind of a generalist agency. We have high organic rankings. So we get all kinds of businesses that reach out to us from our SEO, right? We have, roofers, plumbers. A recent client is a golf cart rental company. And these are like, extreme golf carts. They've got like rims on them, tires, they're fast, but people want to drive them around here for some reason. Maybe it's just that there's a lot of golf courses in Hawaii. I don't know. But, and then we also do a lot of our prospecting, our daily prospecting. Megan on our team is reaching out to businesses, which actually I wanted to show you this, Tom. Last night when I called you, I thought this would be a great, let me share my screen real quick. Cause I was kind of looking at, what she was doing in high level. Does anyone have like a sales rep or a setter that is making calls through high level? It's pretty awesome. Because you can track their metrics and what they're doing, right? So let's see. In the reporting, I can look at the call reporting. I can filter by our sales reps or our appointment setters or whatever. And so today we're filtering by the last, or this month, I guess. Let's just do the last 7 days. Filter. So today obviously just started, but look at that. 5 calls were already made. It's 9:30 in the morning. Yesterday, 76 calls were made. 52 calls were made the day before. 76 calls were made the day before. So this is what we talk about in the agency, right? Revenue producing activities every single day. If it's not you, it's somebody else. The reason I pointed this out back to my topic there was we're calling all businesses in the agency. We're building lists and we're calling everybody, CPAs. Like I said, our agency is more of a generalist type agency. And if I had to do it again, I would probably pick a specific industry to go after in the beginning, depending on my prospecting method. But even if it was calling, it would be a lot easier to call all the same industry, all plumbers, so you can work on your messaging to them and not have to deviate from person to person. It's just so much easier at scale to do that. So I don't know why I ran off on that tangent there, but
no, that's good. I mean, because again, it ties in back to what we talked about on the training with Jason, right? Focusing on one thing, siloing focus on one thing, moving forward with that, and figuring that process out, right? Or finding somebody who's figured it out already, and then just using that that reconnaissance and that experience to do the same thing.
Well, it can definitely help with not having to reinvent the wheel, right? That's what it comes down to. If you feel like you might be reinventing the wheel for every single client, then maybe that's, something that you should have a look at. Maybe that is an issue that you want to focus on. We do kind of reinvent the wheel at our agency for every client. We're in kind of a unique place because we're in Hawaii. Hawaii is its own little bubble. It's its own little market. When real estate in the rest of the United States tanks, we're crushing it. When businesses are not doing very good in the rest of the United States, Hawaii's still doing great because it's a tourist economy. Like, people still want to come to Hawaii. They still want to spend money. Maybe it's a little less, but there's still activity. So it's just it's not apples to oranges when you compare our agency to other people that are, serving these different markets. We're kind of unique. So I don't know. Thus far, I've been happy with the generalist method, we're doing around 85,000 a month right now still. I looked yesterday. And so, the growth has been there. The team isn't that big, but we're scaling. So we're needing to grow.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. All right. Well, why don't we let's do some shark shout outs. And by the way, if you didn't get a chance to catch the training that we did on Wednesday with Jason Bell, was really good. It was all about how to do a 500 a month automated service. And he talks about his silo method. Again, this is exactly what we're talking about. It's focusing on one type of business, one service, and then he's worked everything out, has it all automated from the client getting to the fulfillment to all that stuff. So it's really, really great. If you didn't see it, you should check it out. I'm going to let the link scroll at the bottom of this live stream while we're doing the rest of the show, but don't go there now. But when you're done, you can go to offlinesharks.com /500 month automated and check it out. And then let's do some shout outs because I saw some good ones.
Yeah, we did.
Share my screen here. All right. So, okay. First off, is that big enough? Yep. There we go. Ian Willis, his Wing Chun student, hired him for Google Business Profile Optimization for his organization. $315 a month. He's adding a free logo animation video, and he gets free advertising on their site to promote his agency. That's an all-around solid win. Bill closed a new customer for project management contract for $14K. This deal came on the heels of a follow-up as he's been trying to work with them for 5 years. That is a follow-up process right there. 5 years. When you're following up for 5 years, you're doing follow-up right.
Wow. Great nurturing.
Yeah. Dollar bill.
Dollar bill.
Yeah. Good job. Good job. Next up, Justin closed a new customer on a 3-month contract. $1,500 a month to run YouTube ads for them. Solid win. $4,500 for 3 months work. Pretty good. Jill Ashton, our friend from across the pond, closed 2 websites for a total of $3,305 US. One for an osteopath, the other for telecommunications. The osteopath is already inquiring about Google Ads and analytics, so it looks like an opportunity for upselling from there. So, way to go, Jill.
Man, congrats, Jill. It's great to see that.
That's awesome. And then the machine, Taylor Stillman. Look at these wins he posted. I mean, this is crazy, right? This is crazy. $6,000 site refresh, SEO, Google Business Profile, and social. $1,900 site rebuild plus hosting. $6,400 site refresh with SEO, Google Business Profile, social, ongoing management, $200 a month. $750 site transfer plus hosting. $2,000 for a new little site hosting with ongoing management, $200 a month. $1,500 for a landing page and Google Business Profile. $4,100 for SEO, Google Business Profile, ongoing management. 3 new agency growth machine signups, $300 a pop. $750 for 5-year hosting and site transfer, and then $6,400 for SEO, Google Business with ongoing management for a photographer. Plus, he has 4 clients in the pipeline, 5 new referrals, and 10 meetings set for next week. So he's getting inbound leads from his site, his Google Business Profile. Plus, he signed over $4,000 in sponsorship for his networking and groups events in May. For those of you that maybe don't know, what Taylor has done, which I think is just like freaking awesome, is he took his agency Growth Machine influencer site and he's doing a live networking event around it. So he posted a picture of one of them, not the first one he did in 2023. And he got, I think, 3 signups for his premium listings there when he did that first event. So, I mean, it's like creating a lot of buzz, a lot of action, and crushing it for him. So excellent work, Taylor.
Man, that's an incredible job. We need to get with him, connect with him, and talk with him a little bit more about all that. See what he's doing.
Really, really awesome. And that's a combined total of $57,220 for the week of April 8th through April 14th. That's a grand total of $450,463 since the start of 2023. So we're closing in on $500,000. keep up the good work out there. Keep sharing those wins. We love to see them, love to celebrate everybody. So congratulations. And that brings us to our member of the week. This will come as no surprise, as our member of the week this week is the machine himself, Mr. Taylor Stillman. So impressive wins for the month of April, and we're only 2 weeks in. So congratulations, Taylor. We've got a shark treasure chest coming your way. The team will be reaching out to you to get that set up. So lots of goodies in there. Congratulations. And if you want to be member of the week, follow in Taylor's footsteps. Be a good steward of the Facebook group. Post your questions, post your successes, post your wins. Just help others out in the group. That's what we're looking for. And we pick a new member of the week every week. So congratulations, Taylor. Awesome work, man.
Congratulations. Yeah. Well deserved.
Yeah. Fantastic work. Oh, yeah. I see all the nice jobs coming in. Cool. Awesome. So why don't we take a few questions? What questions do you guys have out there in Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session land that have been on your mind this week? Pop them in the question box. Let's talk about them.
Let's see.
I know we've had a couple popular posts this week. Todd Conley was asking, will Google allow a marketer to claim as many businesses as she wants to out of their own address? In other words, could I have 10 businesses, Google business profiles listed from my personal address? He says he has 2 now. You just wonder if he's going to get slapped.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot. You know, it's tough to know how many for sure. You also have to consider there are lots of places that have one address, and they're, you know, a building, for example, a building with one address. Some buildings have lots of office spaces that don't even have a designation, like, you know, number 203 at an address. They're all at the same place. And so and that's confusing. It's not often, but it does happen. And, you know, all those businesses will register their PIN at that location. And the thing with SEO is, like, if you have a situation like that, if it's possible, then it's probably okay. You know, it would be very difficult for Google to identify those situations where it's not okay, you know? So I would say, you know, don't go out and register 15, you know, new businesses to one place at once. That might be something that starts an issue, but let's say over the course of a couple of years, as you actually start new businesses and they're in the same location, I mean, is that impossible to happen? No, that's a totally possible scenario. And you probably wouldn't be penalized for that, because it's highly likely something like that could happen. So, and you can carry that philosophy across the board with search engine optimization, whether you are creating content, whether you are gathering backlinks for a site. You know, an example with that would be if you are delivering SEO for a client and you get them 1 backlink per month, that's a pretty likely thing to actually happen, right? You could see a website getting 1 backlink per month, but how likely is 50,000 backlinks per month? Not very likely. That's a good way to put some red flags out there and get slapped. And so whenever you're doing any type of optimization and you're wondering whether it's white hat, gray hat, black hat, just think about, is this something that actually could happen? And is it realistic? And if it is, because that's what you're trying to do, right? At the end of the day, all search engine optimization is you're trying to signal to Google that this is the popular website for whatever topic you're trying to optimize it for. And how you do that is you add relevance and different signals that Google has identified as indicators that make a website relative: backlinks, content, on-page optimization, site speed, all these factors. And you're trying to recreate that. That's really all you're trying to do.
Yeah, I saw there's a question. Somebody said, what's the best way to learn Google Business Profile? Do we have a course? So inside the Shark Alliance, I believe the Shark Alliance Elite, we have our local SEO Shark Academy. We've got a huge section in there on Google Business that focuses on all of the core white hat stuff. That's a great resource to use. But you can also just Google Business Profile. Like, you'll find a ton of information. I would start getting familiar with terminology and just like, well, what makes a Google Business Profile well optimized? Start there, and then you can kind of work out from there. There was another one too. Hold on, let me take that one off. Somebody asked, how can I know if a client is using a WordPress website or not? And so one of the things I want to show you guys, this is a tool that we use from time to time. Let's share my screen here.
We use it a lot.
How do you know what I'm going to show?
Because I know the tool that we use all the time for that.
This is a tool called Built With, and you can use it for free. Basically, you just go here and you put in any website address, and it will show you what it's built with. Like, it will show you all the plugins, everything that it uses, from what the content management platform is to the plugins to anything that's on there. So this is a great tool that you can use to investigate and look into what a potential person's site is built with, what they got going on, all that stuff.
And it's free.
And it's free. Yep. Yeah, it's a really good one. Too. And so, you guys know I used to be a former restaurant manager, and just so you know, when you go to check out the training with Jason, that's the niche that he's targeting, right? Restaurants, mainly because there are a lot of restaurants everywhere you go. As you guys know, we have an AGM site around restaurants in Maui. We've got some people in the community. I saw one the other day that was really great. It was like best Chinese restaurants. Like, they just focused in on the Chinese restaurants. But if you're doing a restaurant agency growth machine site, you definitely want to go check out Jason's training, because that's the niche he's targeting, is restaurants, and the service he's offering them is really great. The way he's got it all automated and set up, like, it's really, really impressive. So I would definitely check it out if that is a niche you're looking to target. And if you're looking for a niche, that's a good one to start with, because there are a lot of them everywhere, and they can definitely use help in getting the word out. So,
man, some of our early clients that we worked on together were restaurants.
Yeah. Yep.
Several of them.
Yeah. We had a lot of them.
And
I used to get a lot of restaurants in the mailer, for sure.
From the mailer, and then we would turn them into subscription-based services. There were a couple clients that we were just doing content for, social media posting.
Yeah, social media posting and all that stuff.
$500 a month, $1,000 a month.
Yeah, Frank, that's a great place to target, right? One of those fancy avenues, all the restaurants and bars. Yeah, they're everywhere. Yeah. So the link for Jason's training is offlinesharks.com/ the numbers 500 month automated. So I don't know. Did we post that here? Let me post that in the chat.
It works. I just checked it. It definitely works. What I like about that training,
post it in the chat for me. Thanks, Dorn. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dorn. What I like about that training yesterday, and I mentioned it there, is just that he's got an end-to-end system, and you don't really see that all the time. And when I say end-to-end, I mean everything from the client getting. And I mean the three pillars of a remote marketing agency. He has his own product line, his own service, his own packaging. He's doing his own thing, but it does incorporate all three pillars end to end, automated, and he uses artificial intelligence not like anything I've ever seen yet. I think he's kind of the first guy to actually do that, and so. It really, it got my gears turning about just ideas about what you can do with that stuff, what you can do with that stuff.
Well, and too, if you're familiar with any of the software platforms that Jason has out, like Birthday Club and Contact Reach, like, I don't want to spill too much of the beans, but like the offer he made on there is like a really smoking deal to be able to use all those softwares. Like he like just threw them in, which was great.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome. What other questions you guys have out there?
No questions.
No questions so far.
No questions from you guys. You just like hanging out with us.
They said you look like Johnny Depp. Hey, I have a poll for you guys. So later this afternoon, I'm headed over to the barber to get the hairs cut. So should I keep the beard or should I go back to the goatee? What do you guys think? I've been on the fence. I couldn't decide last time. I kept the beard. But
It's been a while since you had the goatee, huh?
yeah, it has been. I went beard and then I went clean shaven.
Dorn.
Ah.
Dorn. Ditch the beard.
Ditch the beard. Yeah. Well, I was thinking when it gets warmer here, I was gonna go back to the goatee, But maybe one more round with the beard, and then
One more round, just one more time.
maybe one more round. I like the different looks,
Yeah, look, Jackie says that clean shaven, you got a
Shave
great
it all
smile.
off, huh?
Yeah.
Shave it all off.
You'd be like 13 again.
I do look like I'm 12. I always feel like though without the beard, I look young, and two, I always feel like my face looks chubby. I don't know. I just, I guess we all have our things, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing we can do, Nick, is maybe we'll end today a little early since I don't see a lot of questions in there, and let people go enjoy their Fridays. But
I see a couple questions that we can crank out, and then we can end a little early.
Yeah. Pop your questions in there while you guys are doing that. Let's get this out of the way.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money.
Dollar. Ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Yeah, this hat, by the way, was a gift from my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law. Look, it says "Live Lucky" underneath. I love it.
Well, I'll try to do that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm one of the luckiest guys you'll ever meet. I don't know if you know that, but I have crazy, insane luck. My wife is always like, "You are one lucky SOB." Like just one thing after the other.
You're a pretty lucky
awesome.
guy.
Let's see, who are our winners today?
I see our winners. Thank you, Shashan, for putting that in the chat for us. Our two winners today are Howard Bearden and James Juris.
Whoa!
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're going to send you some Cash App money. Appreciate you congratulating our shout out people in the community. We do this every stream. We'll be here next week.
Yeah.
So here are a couple questions, Tom. We'll jump back to that. Let's see. So scrolling up here. Frank says he's going to do AGM for the restaurants now that he moved here, which is awesome. Let us know how it goes. Somebody said that the reason the playback video keeps freezing, does anybody have the offer link? Why don't you try to open the link in a new browser? Because I'm looking, here, look, just for the record, for whoever that is, because I know that they've posted this multiple times. Just so you know, it's working. We're here. We just hit play. So it must be you. Try a different browser, restart your computer. You'll be good to go.
Yeah, and that's good because somebody did ask about the restaurant niche and ranking clients on the restaurant niche. And there's a couple of things that I would say about that. So here are a couple of ideas, Art. Number one is I would start with Agency Growth Machine and build a site in the restaurant niche, right? I mean, that is a surefire way to get some traction. I mean, look at this. Let me show you this one. And I can always find the other one. All the other ones pop up, but look here, I'm going to share our screen here. This is our restaurant themed site. And you can see it's called We Deliver Maui, and then packed in with restaurants. We actually got every restaurant on Maui on this site pretty quickly, but this is a great way to bring value right out of the gate. Build a list to these businesses and start the easy conversations, right? And then in Jason's training, he really dives into what these restaurants really need help with, how you can help them in a very like affordable way to them with a service that really brings value and new customers in. And then he shows you how to add on some other services on the back end and automate the whole process and all that stuff. It's really, really good. The thing I like about restaurants, one, is that they are a plenty, right? Like you're never going to, they're everywhere, right? And if you can dial in helping them and getting some results, you have a pretty infinite, customer base for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Somebody said, Todd said, should I optimize all 1,400 images on my influencer site? For example, alt tags, title, description. So that's something that I would probably have maybe like a VA and ChatGPT do if you really wanted to do that. But Todd, I would ask you to consider, why do you want to optimize all the images and the title tags and the descriptions? And I think the answer is because you want to rank higher in search, which is fine. That is a longer term strategy to get clients. And so if you're looking to get more clients right now, I wouldn't really focus too much on the SEO. I would focus on the revenue producing activities that will allow you to get more clients today, which is, what are you doing with the 1,400 listings on that site that exist right now? How are you communicating with them? How are you delivering more value? How are you nurturing the relationship? How are you talking about how you can help them? And I feel like focusing on that would be a little bit better use of your time, because if you start making some good money, then you can just hire a VA to go optimize all those images and work on your long-term strategy.
Yeah. And then we got this question. What types of services would you offer restaurants, websites, SEO? Websites can be a good one. A lot of times you can find a lot of smaller restaurants that just have really not good websites that need updating and help. Social media management is a really good thing for restaurants because they usually have a lot of stuff going on, and it just is too much for most of them to handle posting and getting all that stuff together. So social media is good. SEO can be good as well, especially if they're not showing up in the maps, right? Maybe helping them link up an online ordering system, all that kind of stuff. Those are all good things to do. Another really good thing that Jason just crushes it with is helping them run special promotions to their clientele, like special promos for when people have birthdays and different things like that to get them to come in. And that's another really great thing as well. Yeah, SMS marketing. Yep, you're right, Norn. That's another really good one. Yeah, you can see, if you want to watch the training with Jason, just look on the screen, offlinesharks.com/500 month automated. That will take you to the replay. You can watch the training, see everything he's doing. He breaks it all down. It's really, really great. And it's in the comments of this stream. So just scroll back through, you'll find it in there as well. So awesome. Email marketing, another great one for restaurants. That's something I don't think they take advantage of enough. Another great one.
Which is, what I would offer is what Jason offers, which is kind of like a all-in-one. Restaurants can be a little unique because if you run ads for a restaurant, it's kind of hard to track, right? Because most people that are looking for a restaurant, they're not looking, they click on an ad and then they, make a reservation. It's just hard to kind of track. They're looking for if they're open, what the menu is. And if you can just bring more people to the actual place of business, then you're doing a good job. But it's a little more difficult to track that. And so the things that Jason does, which if you go to that link and watch this training, he has very unique ways to bring people back to the business, incentivize them to come back to the business, and track everything. So it's a really good offer. What he's giving them. And it's a way to just pack the value for a restaurant in a very unique way. And you're not reinventing the wheel, right? You're using what he's using too. Yeah,
good stuff. Awesome. Well, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed today's live show. We had a great time hanging out with you. We're going to be here next Friday, same shark time, same shark channel. We're going to give away some more Cash App money. We're going to have more shout outs. We're going to have another all around good time. Get out there today, enjoy some time with the family, enjoy some time outside, work on your business a bit, have a safe weekend, practice Aloha, and we will see you here next week, everybody.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam Session, your weekly marketing live show, always bringing you the latest strategies and tactics. to build your remote empire from anywhere in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with the Remote Millionaires Podcast at remotemmillionaires.com/podcast and Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.